take a look. So this is 5?
Maybe, not unofficial stuff. That's like my stats.
Recording in progress.
How you doing, Zach?
Good, how about you?
Real good.
Nice game.
First up will be Tyson Riley. Ken, go ahead.
Ken Kreitzer, Cam Vetsmita. Tyson, congratulations on your senior day win. It seemed like the offense was more like the old offense from a couple of years ago. How was it for you?
It was just good to go out there with my team and get a hard, tough win. I thought the O-line was moving their guys a lot, and then I thought me and Jacoby and the rest of the runners were really running the ball with bad intentions.
And third quarter, you got the 43-yard run. Just tell us how that play shaped up.
It was a zone play. I pressed it up into the line like Coach Vitti told me to, and then I just kind of jumped out to the B gap, and Jackson Flipwitz had a good block on his guy, and then once I hit that gap, it was pretty open, so I just ran as fast as I could, but it wasn't fast enough to get to the end zone, but it was a good play.
Hey, last question. How was it just for you on senior day to be out there with Jacoby and you're working together so well?
It just kind of brought me flashbacks to like the years before. Just like me and him just kind of going back and forth, feeding off each other's energy. That was great for me today.
Tyson, the B-backs returned today, right? For one game at least.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys work that a lot in practice? Did you know it was coming up? I'm sure you didn't just go into the field today and run it, right?
Yeah, I was under the impression that we were going to use it kind of just a little bit, kind of like we did last week. But kind of going into practice towards the end of the week, they started putting me in there more to get more reps. And then we were just going to use it a little bit today, but then it was really working, so we just ran with it.
You haven't carried the ball in a while, right?
Yeah, since the first game.
Did that just come naturally for you today? I mean, just being able to do what you were able to do? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in practice, I got a few reps at it, so, I've played football for a while, so hopefully I haven't lost the ability to run the ball. But no, it was a fun day out there.
Just one more, the feeling of getting back into the end zone at home on senior day probably doesn't get any better for you.
Yeah, no, it was super exciting, especially with how that drive was going, just eating up all the clock, just running the ball pretty efficiently, just to cap it off with a little short touchdown run. It was really exciting.
Today was senior day, and you guys, I think, are 9-1 in the Jeff Monken era on senior day. Why do you think you do so well on that game?
I would definitely just say the culture we have. Like all this week, the coaches were, and I remember back to other senior days before this, the coaches always talk about do it for the seniors. Like the seniors can't do it alone, and then the team can't do it alone without the seniors. So just the focus on doing your job like better than you would, like doing it for someone else, like that's always a good motivating factor.
The offense really seemed to get more confidence as the game went on. What was the feeling out there?
Like just going into that first drive, it was just kind of like see what they're going to line up with, see how they're going to answer with, and I thought we had a bunch of good plays going, and just kind of that momentum of rolling through that throughout the game. Really, just I feel like you could see that emotionally with our team, and that's what gave us the confidence to keep going.
And with you, how did you feel as the game went on?
I definitely, as the game went on, I just kept just feeding off the plays and feeding off the O-line and feeding off just the energy of all my teammates out there, getting pretty excited.
Thank you.
Hi, Tyson. Jeff Magrichetti, ENV Magazine. Going into practice this week, did you know you would have an expanded role back in the backfield after spending the past few weeks in more of a receivers and more of a tight ends position? Not
really. We practiced both the under center and the gun stuff this week. It was a lot of tight end, and then like we have tight ends in those formations too. So I was just getting a lot of reps at like maybe like the split receiver or the slot, not really the B back, but then kind of towards the end of the week they were putting me back there. So I was getting kind of split reps, but more towards the tight end. So I didn't really know until kind of like yesterday and early today.
Once you got that rhythm back a little bit, once it became clear that you were going to be relied upon the running game, I think you got 2 carries in the red zone on the first drive, the end of that 8-minute drive. What gave you the confidence that you were going to be able to keep up that momentum for the rest of the game?
Just trusting in my O-line, and then Coach Vitti was a really intricate part of like the confidence for me. Last night, just kind of sat me and Jacoby and Markel Johnson down, and we were just going through plays, and he was giving us all the good pointers. So on the first run we had down there in the red zone, he's just like, when you see this look, just get behind your guard and tackle and just let them lead the way for you. And just like remembering those coaching points as you go into every play was crucial.
Final one from me. If you could describe this departing senior class in a word, yourself included, what would it be?
Just tough. I'll give you another word, relentless. Like those guys, I've been with them since prep school, most of them. And then when we came to the academy, just the group of guys, a lot of us played early on, and I've played a lot of football here, and just the chemistry you build with those guys and the friendships and stuff, I'll never forget that.
One more, sorry. Do you feel like you're leaving the run game in good hands as you depart?
100%. You guys have seen Kanye, Markel, Rel, Hayden, all the running backs. They just bring a different they all have their own little things they're good at. And I hope me and Jacoby have had a good impression on them on what an Army running back looks like.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Tyson, just one more. The kind of scrum run that you had where you just kept on moving the pile. Can you just talk about what that's like being, keeping your feet moving and gaining those yards and keeping that momentum going?
Yeah, just going back to the years I've played football here, Coach Vitti and Coach Powers, just the indie drills where you're running into bags, keeping your shoulder pads low, working on driving your feet. Like we practice all that. Those are part of our fundamentals. And just like the first guy comes up to you, get your pads low, drive your feet, and then the O-line, they're going to come and help out. Coach Vitti was actually telling them kind of coming out of halftime, like, hey, when the ball carriers stopped up, like, go up there and push them and help them get extra yards. And I just kept driving my feet, and when I could look up, I just tried to keep going. But, yeah, it was pretty good.
We'll do two on Zoom. Charles, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Tyson, and congratulations on the win today, and obviously outstanding game. You had only 12 carries, if I'm not mistaken, but an impressive 112 yards on the ground with back-to-back carries in the third quarter that actually saw you carry the Coastal Carolina defense with obviously the help of your offensive line. Obviously, you knew that you were getting some reps today. What was your mindset from that perspective, but also knowing that you will be doing so in the traditional triple option offense and, of course, doing it as your last game in Michie Stadium?
Yeah, I was just really focused on kind of letting the game come to me, not going out there and just trying to like do something off schedule or trying to make a play. Everyone else, they want to do their job, they want to follow the plan, and so having those trust in those guys to execute their job really led me today.
Okay, my final question, you mentioned Coach Vitti. Can you talk about the interaction you were having with him and along with the other fullbacks on the sidelines today?
Yeah, I was just when Jacoby was in, he was keeping us locked in, making sure we were watching what the looks the defense were giving us, and the different reads we would make. So when we went in there, we would kind of know what to expect, and just kind of coaching up runs when we come to the sideline and blocks and stuff like that, really keeping us locked in.
Great, and thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Last one, Ken McMillan.
Hey, Tyson. Just a question about the philosophy. Obviously, going back to the option football that you're familiar with was easy for you probably because you've been doing it. But just talk about the transition from what you've been running to this, because you've only had a week to really kind of practice it.
Just prior training in throughout my years here, just with Coach V and Coach Powers, like I said, just relying back on those fundamentals I learned. And kind of if you look at our recent games, we've kind of gone with a more smash mouth in your face, going back to, Air Force and Holy Cross, where we're running the ball a lot more. And I think that's the identity that this team has, and that we need to be successful for the rest of the year.
But the entire unit? The entire unit getting used to this?
I mean, we're definitely a run the ball first team. So just fully embracing that, I feel like we've seen that recently in the last 3 games of us really like committing to the run game. I would definitely say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all set, Tyson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyson.
Haley.
Bryson, congratulations on a great win today. Just the offense was different today. It was more like what we were used to last year, a couple of years ago. You ran for 360 yards, I think it is, and no passing yards. How did you feel about that?
I felt great. We had some success with it in the game prior, and it worked. And so we thought if we put together a package, Coastal would be ready for it. And it was a great game plan. It was working, so we just stayed in it. But whatever it takes to get a win.
And how was it to get off to another fast start? First drive, you had the ball. You get down, Tyson Riley scores on a 2-yard run.
It was awesome. We always want to put that first one in, give the defense a lead, let them be more confident, and it's hard to tackle Tyson Riley on the goal line.
Then the next drive, second quarter, you had the play where you were down to the 1-yard line, ball came loose, a lot of replays, and it was declared not a fumble. So next play, you go in for the 1-yard touchdown. How did it feel to get the lead at that point?
Yeah, that was great by the O-line. Getting a hold. Brady took over the nose and allowed me to get in the end zone. That was a great call, great drive, and just great for the offense.
And just final question, later in the third quarter, you have the pitch play, Dajon Marshall after Tyson had run 43 yards, and you get the 18-yard TD off the pitch. You really were doing the pitch play well today.
Yes, sir. It was working well for us. It was a little counter option, get it out to Dajon, and he's a great player. He's done this for years in that style of offense, and he really showed up today and was a big reason why we won.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bryson, can you just talk about going back to like a little bit more of the triple today and going under center and what that was like for you? I know you put in the practice time, but I mean, what it was like today?
Yeah, we were able to get a good amount of practice in it this week. But honestly, this offense has a ton of guys who have a million banked reps in that type of offense. So that was something that just years in this program, we were ready to do it. And it was really impressive how well guys performed in this new offense today. So that was great to see.
It's kind of new, but it's kind of old, right? I mean, when you guys were practicing this week, did it seem like you guys weren't really missing a beat because of those banked reps, or no?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there was obviously some little things here and there that were that we had to refresh ourselves on, but a lot of guys who played a lot of football and they knew what to do.
Was it fun today, going back to it, or?
It was fun. It was just fun winning. It's fun running the ball down the other team's defense, and it was fun.
Do you think that Coastal was surprised when he came out in that?
It was under center on film, so I'm sure they practiced some for under center, but I think they were a little surprised.
Kept him off balance for most of the game, or just early on?
Yes, sir. And we planned to go under center until they stopped it, and thankfully they didn't stop it throughout the game. We were able to keep them off their toes and drawing up some plays on the sideline, so that was good.
When did the coaches tell you about this, and how did you feel?
We knew we had a package going into it before the game, and we've been working on it for a couple weeks now. And we knew that if we had success early, we might stay in it until it stops working. So,
thank you.
Sir.
Hey, Jeff Monken, E&V Magazine. Congratulations on the win, first and foremost. To that end, about going back under center today, how does it feel? I know this is probably a distant side effect of it, but how does it feel to give Navy something else to think about 2 weeks before your matchup with them?
Yeah, it's always great have them chasing stuff. Both gun, under center, play actions, anything we're doing. Just having their defense spend more time on stuff like that is always great because, we're a versatile offense and we're going to be able to do, whatever needs to be done to get the win in that game.
So this is solid Coastal Carolina defense, and yet you were able to keep them on the field for 39 minutes. What can you say about the way your conditioning, in this case on the offense, kind of helped you guys wear them out a little bit and keep the ball and keep their high-profile offense off the field?
Yeah, we got a lot of tough guys. So those long drives, some we're used to. We've had a few this season. It was really nice seeing how well-conditioned guys were because we just got a bunch of tough guys who are going to do what it needs to be done to win the game. So that was awesome to see.
You're capping off the quote-unquote regular season on a 3-game winning streak here. So what do you think's been the biggest difference from an offensive standpoint over the past 3 weeks?
Just executing, taking care of the ball. That's really been the big things that have led to these wins. We take care of the ball, and execute the plays that coach calls, like we're going to win a lot of games, and that's what's happened these past 3 games. So that's been great.
Final one for me. What's the biggest lesson this senior class has taught you as you yourself go into a vital 4th year?
We have great seniors, tough seniors, great leadership. Our 4 captains are awesome, and even beyond them, just guys who lead. And so that's been the biggest thing I've got to see is just how to lead people, how to be tough, and like what it takes to win football games. They've really showed, especially in these last 3 games. Battling through adversity, because we've had a lot of adversity this year, but just seeing them come to work every single day, no matter what our record is, what happened the game before, that's really what I've seen and learned from them.
Appreciate your time and insight. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Charles on Zoom.
Good afternoon, Bryson, and congrats on the win today. You ran the option very well today. How comfortable did you feel not only running the ball yourself, but the pitch portion of the option? Because pitch execution with yourself, Terrell, and Marshall from their slot positions was very successful.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, we have guys who have a lot of banked reps in that style of offense with those plays. And, coaches did a great job of putting us in situations in practice where it showed up very similar to what we saw out there today. So just, the great practice, the banked reps we've had from years prior, it had us feeling really comfortable.
Great. And my follow-up and final question, the offensive blocking on the perimeter from the receivers and slots was very noticeable today. Can you talk about how impactful that was for your success today, but along with the offensive line as well, what their performance?
Yeah, we got tough guys. Receivers, you watch other college games throughout the country. Receivers, just slot backs, running backs, they don't block like our guys block, and that's what makes us different. We have a lot of tough, selfless guys out there. We didn't throw the ball much today, but they blocked their tail off on the perimeter, and that's what allowed a lot of those big runs to go for even farther. So just a lot of selfless guys out there.
Thanks again, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Ken, close us out.
Bryson, just to kind of give us a feel on how different is it running this option offense versus what you've been doing all season?
Oh, there's carryover. You're reading a lot of the same guys. It just happens a little quicker under center. That's probably the biggest thing. But there is a lot of carryover and similar read keys and similar concepts. So it wasn't too much on our plate.
Last thing, just from a sentimental standpoint, what was it like watching Jacoby and Tyson just tear it up like you've seen them do the last 2 years?
Yeah, that was awesome. Taking some load off of me and allowing just handing the ball to those guys and watching them work, watching them drive piles. That was awesome to see. I'm really happy for those guys, especially them 2 as seniors, to have such big games in this last one at home. That was awesome to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set, Bryson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Next up will be Leo Lowen.
Leo, congratulations on a win on your senior day. What does it mean for you just last game, Mikey Stadium, pull off a solid win like this?
It means everything. One thing I said to the guys before the game, came in with a win against Middle Tennessee back in 2020 and came out with a win against Coastal Carolina. So it's always a good feeling to come out on top. And I was just so thankful for all the other guys. Even the underclassmen just played so hard for us, and it was an awesome team win.
I thought, at the end of the first half, you gave up a touchdown pass, 31 yards to Coastal to make it 21-14. Then they get the ball to start the second half, and you stop them on a 3 and out, forcing them to punt. And then Army scores on that one to go out 28-14. How important was it for you to have a good defensive series to start the second half?
Oh, it was huge. Definitely something we were saying in the locker room a lot. Just come out hot and come out, with a stop. I think we've played the best in the games where we've come out hot and played really well to start kind of either the half or the game. And we did that again today, and I was really happy the defense would step up after, a drive like that, kind of momentum goes their way at the end of the first half. But then we stepped up and came right back.
A final question for you. Just later, when it's 28-14, you made a big third down tackle, just really nailed the runner, and forced a 4th and 5. They went for it, and Bo Nicholas Paul gets the interception. Tell us about that sequence.
Yeah, awesome plays. Once again, I think our team has done a great job all year of, momentum might be coming their way, but we get down to the goal line, we bow up and make plays. But I think we did a really good job of just spilling those blocks on that third down run and just gave me a free shot at them. And then in that last play, just guys being where they're supposed to be makes it hard on the quarterback, and he's kind of rushed to make a decision. So that's what happens.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Leo, can you talk about Jabril Williams' block return to touchdown and the special teams helping you guys out again today?
Yes, sir, of course. Well, I know Brett Jarena made the block, and he was super pumped about that. And then Jabril Williams obviously shows up again on special teams, and it's just nobody more deserving than both Brett and Jabril. They put in work day in, day out. And, they haven't played a whole lot on defense. Brett has a good amount, but they make the most of their time on the field, and they've really been doing a great job. I'm super happy for those guys.
Sorry. Leo, Jeff Maglicetti, ENVE Magazine. What was the biggest difference, in your opinion, of how you were able to best Coastal Carolina this time around after giving up 38 last year?
Sure. Obviously, it seemed like they didn't want to run the ball much today, but they had a good passing game, a lot of good players. I think we just came out better prepared. Obviously, last year when we played them, it was the first game of the season,
Sure.
So you're still trying to get your feet under you. And this year, right now, I think our team, our defense is kind of getting into stride a little bit. Obviously, we let up a couple big plays, but if we can limit those, and we had a really good game defensively. So
When an offense gets greedy in the best way possible, holding the ball for 39 minutes of game time, how inspiring and how relieving and refreshing is that for a defense?
No, it's pretty nice. I think we looked up, they had, about 40 minutes of time of possession. 39. Yep. So, no, it makes it pretty relaxing on us, I guess, when I think we played like 6 plays in the first quarter or something like that. And just to see those guys, like I know Bryson was talking about Jacoby and Tyson, just run the ball, and Ijan getting big chunks of yards, T-Rob carrying the ball. Super awesome to see them moving the ball like that and just keeping it. It almost gets like, you kind of want to be out there a little more, but I'm super happy that, it worked out.
Final one from me. How would you describe your senior class in one word?
It's hard. Strong. I'd say just strong mentally, strong physically, obviously, but just strong people, strong in their values. We work hard, and I'm just, I'm super, super thankful to be a part of a group like this.
Appreciate your time and insight. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to Zoom. Charles, if you want to go.
Leo, first of all, congratulations on the win today, but also nice hit on second and goal on their 8-yard line. I think it was in the third quarter. Can you talk about that particular play and how gratifying it is, not only to make the tackle, but to hear the buzz from the fans knowing that it was, quote unquote, a hit?
Definitely fun just to make a good play. Anytime you make a good play, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think they were in a Wildcat offense. They were running a lot of G scheme kind of plays whenever they were in Wildcat. The guard pulled, Caleb spilled it. I think somebody else spilled it or boxed it or something. There was just like perfect, kind of shot. And I just tried to do what the coach has been teaching me. And, it was obviously super fun.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Leo. Ken McMillan from the Times-Herald Record. Leo, 2 questions. One, during this 3-game win streak, you've knocked off 2 teams that are very close to contending for conference championships and a Holy Cross team that is obviously one of the best in the FCS. So not only the 3 wins, but the quality opponents that you faced. What does it say about this Army team?
Yeah, I think we've played quality opponents all year this year. We've had a really tough schedule, and obviously went through a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season, but we always, we pride ourselves in finishing, never quitting. And even though, you got a lot of reasons to be down or, stop working hard, we never did. We kept coming back. And at the end of the day, Coach Monken always says it, it's not about who they are, it's about who we are. And I think we've shown that we can play with anybody. We just got to play to our standard.
And Leo, obviously Grayson McCall, most people thought he wasn't going to play, and he didn't because of the concussion. But there was also talk about Ethan Vasco playing. So what was it like having Jarrett Guest go out there, and what do you think of the job he did?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good quarterback. I know we played Grayson McCall last year. He's a really good quarterback too. I think we were just kind of preparing for whatever came our way. I think he did a good job. They passed the ball a lot, so obviously they have some trust in him. But I think, we just played well and, went how it went.
Thank you, Leo.
Sure, thank you. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Leo. Congrats.
Thanks, Leo. Congratulations.
to go? Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. Certainly proud of the team and the effort they put forth today. Was just felt like Army football today, being able to run the ball and control the game on offense, control the clock. We finished some drives. We unfortunately had a couple that we left out there, but our defense responded. I thought our defense did a really nice job. Put them in a bad spot, fumbling that ball there late in the fourth quarter, and credit to Coastal Carolina. They're a good football team, very talented football team. Went down and scored and had a chance to kick an onside kick. That makes you a little squeamish when the game gets to that point and it's only one score. But fortunately, we came through and found a way. So it was a great win for our guys. Certainly a much-needed win after the way things have gone this year. It's just great to see our guys line up and play really tough football and find a way to win. So it's a great way to go into the next one.
Coach, congratulations. 365 yards rushing today, 0 yards passing. It seemed like you went back.
A couple of snaps in the game prior, and we just felt like we needed to go at them. They're a very athletic football team. I mean, you watch them on film, and they're running sideline to sideline and really athletic and fast. And we just didn't feel like making it a perimeter game and trying to keep up with their speed was going to be the best way for us to win the game. We felt like we needed to run the football, and so we've been kind of, working on some of the under center stuff and having it ready and having it prepared, and felt like this was going to be the best approach to start the game. And I don't know that I anticipated we were going to stay in it the entire game, but we were moving the football and controlling the clock and scoring, and so we stuck with it. And the guys did a really good job of executing it. And credit goes to Cody Worley. He called the under center plays for us, and he's got a lot of experience doing it. And it's amazing how the guys that have played, our veteran players, almost like riding a bike. They were able to kind of go back to the fundamentals, and Tyson Riley, who hasn't really played the running back the entire season, and he steps in there and goes through the mesh and did a great job. And Jacoby, and really happy for those two guys. It was a great effort on their part, both of them.
I was going to ask you, Tyson Riley had 112 yards, the opening touchdown, 43-yard run in the third quarter, and Jacoby Buchanan, key plays, 60 yards today. How is it just seeing the production you got from that position?
It was just a combination of both of those guys really doing a nice job of running the football, finding the seams. They had to slide some of those runs where it was they take the handoff and there's an aiming point for them, and they had to slide out or slide to the side of a block a couple of times and got extra yards, and they did a really nice job with that. But I thought our offensive line played really well. I thought they did a nice job of moving people, the tight ends, and we were in a reduced formation or a condensed formation for much of the game, and that called on a whole lot of guys to kind of be contributing in there to those runs inside. So it was a good mix. Some stuff inside. We got the ball pitched to the perimeter. Got the ball tossed out there a couple of times, and so it was it's fun to be back out there and kind of seeing that stuff going again.
And Coach, at the end of the second quarter, you gave up a 31-yard touchdown pass, so it was 21-14 at the half. How important was it for the defense to make a stop on the first drive in the third quarter?
That was big. I had hoped we could get them off the field and not have them score before halftime. Having a 14-point lead would have been a little bit of a nice buffer there. But like I said, they're a really good football team and very talented, and they scored. And we like to kick off. We normally defer, and as it was, they do the same. So they won the toss, and we knew going out there it was going to be important. We got to stop, And for those guys to get the stop and us to go and get another touchdown and make it 28, that gave us some breathing room that we really needed.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, when you have the production that you had today, running the under center stuff, is there any part of you that wishes you may have got to it a little bit earlier this year or no?
Yeah, there is. And, I think I probably entered this season thinking we could do a little bit of both. It's not easy to do. Hard to serve two masters. What we've got to figure out is how we can make both of them work. And you can't have the same playbook that you had in the past with all the plays that we did under center, and then all the stuff we've done from the gun. And you kind of got to pick what you think you'd be good at and what fits our team. And I really thought the blocking rules were prohibitive for us executing the offense as we had done it for so many years as effectively. I mean, there are plays today where when we pitch the ball out there, I would love for our slot backs to go out there and cut those guys, because there's lots of yards left out there when you got to stay up and kind of dance with those guys out there and the ball gets strung out. But also the linebackers in the box. Every time there was motion, their linebackers are just screaming. Well, in the past, we've been able to go up and cut those guys with a fullback or a tackle or a tight end or whoever. So it does change our ability to be able to run it the way that we always have. But there's probably a mix in there somewhere. And certainly there's, when we installed the offense, the gun option offense, we had invested so much through the spring and preseason camp, and I just really felt like we're going to continue to get better. We're going to grow in this offense. Our guys will improve, and we have in a lot of ways, but we haven't had the production. We haven't scored points, and we haven't controlled football games, just like I felt like we did today. I don't know what the time of possession was, but it had to be pretty big in our favor. So that's the Army football of old, and it's really what I thought we could do with the gun option, is control the game the same way, just do it a different way, and maybe we can. This is year one, and it certainly hasn't gone like I hoped it would. There's certainly times throughout the season where I wish we would have had some of the things we had today, but as we recognized the need for it, we started to do some of it in practice, and it's hard to just draw it up on a board at halftime and just say, go run this. You got to practice it. But, I bear that responsibility. It's my responsibility to make those decisions and recognize what needs to be done, and perhaps have recognized it earlier. But I'm glad we did enough today to win.
It was fun to watch. You said Coach Worley was calling plays today.
Mm-hmm.
So was he the co-offensive coordinator today?
He called the under center plays. He's the coach on our staff with the most experience running under center option. And I'm not going to call the plays. Yeah. I've been around this offense a long time, but I got a job to do. And I tried to do that my first year at Georgia Southern. It's hard. It's hard to be the coordinator and be the head coach. And you want to talk about losing some sleep, Sal? I mean, you're laying there at night thinking, okay, if we got this play called and they line up in this front, or we get in this formation and they don't take a guy over, what's our check going to be? And you show up and to go through the offensive staff meetings, and there's 5 new things on your desk that weren't there before. And, it's recruiting, and you still got the defense. And I went through the first 8 games at Georgia Southern. I had no idea what we're doing on defense. I'm over there drawing up plays on the sideline and over there at the bench. But I watched Paul Johnson do that for a long time. I thought that's how you're supposed to do it. He was masterful at it. But that wasn't what was best for our team. So
He called the bowl game, right?
West Virginia.
Yeah, he called the bowl game.
That was Brent Davis was the coordinator's out with COVID, and he called it. So Cody's really smart, really good football coach, and give Drew Thatcher credit. The humility of that. He's feeding information to him, and he's on the headset, and it was certainly a team effort. And but like I said, we didn't anticipate necessarily doing that the entire day, but it just worked out that way.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Bryson said that the game went faster, the offensive, they got to the play faster. Do you think that played a role in the fact that there weren't that many penalties? I don't think there was any holding penalties today. In addition, there really weren't many turnovers. You had the interception late in the first half, and then the one fumble, of course. Do you think that played a role?
I don't understand what was faster.
He said that the plays happened faster. It was the plays were very quick today, under center.
Yeah, well, they hit differently. It hits a lot faster. When the tailback is running downhill and going full speed, it gets into the line of scrimmage faster. That's certainly a fact, and I think that's one of the things that is valuable about this offense, and it's different. You know, Coastal Carolina hadn't seen anybody run that all this year, and they saw us run 3 plays of it last week. So I'm certain they spent most of their time with all the stuff we've been we've been doing all this year, and so they started out in one front. They moved to a different front and kind of settled into that front, and being able to adjust. And I'm sure they were over there with chalkboard every time their offense had the ball and trying to draw things up. And we just had enough answers today to be able to keep the ball moving. So it's probably a little bit of a surprise for them.
You beat 3 teams so far that are near the top of their divisions: Air Force, Coastal, and UTSA. And plus, there was Senior Day, and I think you're 9-1 on Senior Day. Do you think the team rises to certain occasions?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think certainly on speaking for Senior Day, I think our guys take a lot of pride in that, and they know this is the last opportunity for those guys to play in this stadium, and it means a lot to them. But at this point in our season, as many disappointments as we've had, and the way I've continued to see this team fight and the resilience, and we've had some disappointing moments. We've had some really down, disappointing moments this year. But our players have continued to practice. I've not seen a poor attitude out of them. I've not seen any quit. And there's a lot of teams that fold the tents after a 5-game losing streak. But our guys, they're just fighters. They're tough. And that doesn't get you a victory every time, but they've continued to battle. And so they approached this week with a really great attitude. They were prepared. Thought our coaches did a good job of simplifying the game plan, allowing our guys to play really fast. And then they made some plays today. They made some plays. We made some good stops and some good tackles and some good blocks and runs. Had a block punt for a touchdown, which was a huge play in the game. It's a difference in the football game. So our guys were just excited to play, and they know what a good team looks like. And I think everybody that's a competitor enjoys a good challenge. That doesn't mean that throughout the year that all the other games weren't important. Our guys weren't trying. Our guys were. We didn't perform very well. I didn't do a very good job coaching them at times, and so I was really glad those guys got a win today, and to put together a 3-game win streak going into the biggest game of the year. Hopefully give us some confidence and some excitement about finishing the season. It's going to take our very best effort. I know that other team's going to be fighting like crazy to win the game too.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win today. From me, what gave you the confidence that Tyson Riley was going to be able to play a major role in today's offense, especially since he had gone 2+ months without a carry?
So we anticipated we were going to use the under center stuff a good bit, not necessarily the entire day. So I guess you evaluate who are the best guys that we've got running the football for under center, and we're going to be running our traditional triple option plays. Jacoby Buchanan and Tyson Riley. Those are the 2 best players to run that stuff. The most experienced Guys that you can look and say, have they made a play in a game? Yes, they've done that and made plays in games playing that position. So we repped those two guys. And some of the other guys we gave repetitions to as well. But as I said in practice, we didn't do that the entire day. We didn't practice that all day long. In fact, I think yesterday in practice, we probably had, I'm trying to think, we probably had 60 plays that we had scripted in the practice yesterday. Maybe not that many, maybe 50 plays. I think 14 of them were under center. Wednesday, which we have big days on Tuesday and Wednesday, I think we had three team periods. There were 27 plays in each team period scripted. So if I do the math on that, that's 81 plays. It's pretty good for a PE major. We had, I think, 12 plays that were scripted under center. So it really wasn't something we thought we were going to do the whole game. It's just a change up. But as it turned out, I wanted to start the game under center. And I said, we'll stick with it as long as it's going good. It was going good, so we stayed with it. And those two guys have run those plays in that mesh 1,000 times, maybe more in their career. I mean, I just think of all the reps that they've had in individual, in group work, in mesh, in team, in games. Those guys have done that over and over. So I felt like they'd be able to do that. And there's other guys too. I mean, Jarrell Dixon and Markel Johnson, those guys have all taken reps and meshed. Kanye Udo did it for a year at the prep school last year. They're all very capable. But those two guys have made plays. And, I just felt like going with the guys that had done it, that we believe in, would be the best 1-2 punch. So they both did a great job.
Fair enough. And final one from me. If you could describe this senior class in a word, what would it be?
Resilient. They are. Their leadership this year, I think, is reflective of that description. They're resilient.
Appreciate your time and insight. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
We'll do 2 on Zoom. Charles, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach, and congratulations on the win today.
Thank you, Charles.
Once again, untimely penalties show their face today, but beyond that, the offense and to some degree the defense were relatively consistent, especially the offensive running game. As such, Bryson looked extremely comfortable running the offense today, along with the pitches to Robinson and Marshall. Can you talk about how you felt Bryson ran the option today, but more so the running of the offense overall?
I can't say enough for the job he did reading the option. So, and that's not something we do every day over and over like we did in the past. Now, he still has to read the option. He still has to, in the gun, there are triple option plays where he puts the ball in the back's stomach and has to read a defender, and it may be a pitch, it may be an RPO. So it's not like he doesn't do that, but the fast hitting under center where that tailback is right on him, and he's got to make a split-second decision based on the defender. He really did a great job, and we repped it this week. I mean, we gave him some individual and some group work snaps at it. Like I said, we ran some plays in practice, but it wasn't like we were running the triple option plays where he was reading it every single time. There's a toss play and there's a trap play and things like that were called runs. So it's just a matter of him getting the ball exchanged to the correct guy. So he did a great job. That's a guy that doesn't have a lot of game reps doing it, just a ton of practice reps. And he did a terrific job, took care of the ball. Like I said, we left some drives out. The fumble at the end, that probably was the most frustrating play of the entire day for me. and I'm trying not to let it sour the victory for me. But it could have cost us the football game, so we got to take care of the ball. But that's not on him. It's not on him. He did a really good job of distributing the ball and reading those guys. And there was one handoff to Tyson. Their lineman did a little up stunt, like he looked like he was going to take the fullback, and then went up the field and he handed the ball off. It was a really good job. It's not an easy read to make, and he did it. So he's just continued to impress me, how tough he is and how much of a competitor he is, and he did a great a great job leading the team today. The penalties are the ones where we false started. That Jacoby a couple of times, we ran a quick motion in front of his face, and the second time he said, I just jumped on the motion. So those are foolish penalties that we'd like to try to avoid. The penalties on defense, the hands to the face, those are aggressive penalties. Those guys are just trying to rush the passer and make a play, and they get their hand up underneath the guy's face mask, and they've got to get their hand out of there and replace it. But those are aggressive penalties, and we had some others. The aggressive penalties, they hurt. 15-yard penalty, that hurts. But the guys are trying to play hard. I get more upset with the ones that are the 5-yard penalties for false starting or being offsides and things like that. Those we have much more control over.
Thanks again, Coach, and congrats again.
Thank you, Charles.
Ken, close us out.
Hey, Jeff, Ken McMillan from The Record. Jeff, let's talk defense. The fact that McCall had the concussion, so I think people thought he wasn't going to play, but Vasco had been playing, and of course then they went with Jarrett Guest. Mm-hmm. How did your team react to it? What kind of a job do you think they did on him?
I thought they did a good job, and I was surprised. I didn't. Nate Woody said something to me in pre-game. He came up and he said he thought it was going to be Guest, which they're a little bit different, but they really tried to go at us with the passing game. I thought our guys did a good job in the first half of stopping the run. I think they had 8 yards at halftime running the football. And just when you think you're doing a good job stopping the run, they run a triple option play down their sideline for about 60. I don't know what it was, but that was tough to watch. We had done such a good job of stopping the run, but they're a good football team, and they're a very well coached football team. And I was just very, very pleased with our defense and how hard they played and how rugged and tough they played today. And we gave up that play in the fourth quarter, the touchdown. That it's a little hairy there, but Casey Larkins, and he's trying to make a play. He's in position, and their kid just made a great play and went over the top of us and got it. So I thought the defense did a terrific job, and they were charged up and played really physical and played really fast. And I'll see on the film. I haven't obviously had a chance to look at that yet, but I think we tackled pretty well. We missed some, but I thought we did a good job of tackling and getting them to the ground.
And Jeff, last one. Had you pondered this move to under center, especially the nature of how you did it today? Did you ponder that earlier this season? And how tough is it for you to make that switch? Because some people would say, oh, maybe they're second guessing themselves.
I've been pondering that since last spring. Like I said, my intention was to be able to do both. I think it's really hard to do both. You can be a hybrid. We played a team when I was at Georgia Southern. There was a triple option team in the league, Wofford, and they were an under center team, but they'd run some gun. They always had a gun package, and they were good at it, and they were able to kind of figure out their niche to do both. And they didn't win every single game, but they won a lot of football games, and were able to control the clock and did a really good job with the offense. And that perhaps I thought maybe we could be a little bit like that, be able to have, as we in the past, we've been an under center team and had some gun, be a gun team and have some under center. But try to do what's best for your team and to give our guys the best chance to win. And when you put so much time and so much investment into the gun option stuff, as soon as you start practicing plays from under center, you have to take away from the fundamentals and the timing and everything that goes with those other plays. And so it's determining what's best. How much do we want to limit ourselves? And so many of the plays that any offense has, they're answers to what the defense is doing. You run a certain play or you in a certain formation, and they either defend that play a certain way or line up in a particular defensive structure, and you've got another call then to counter that. And the under center option was like that. The gun option stuff's like that. The people that run the air raid offense, they've all got answers. It's just football. So to be able to have the answers for everything, both under center and gun, is a challenge. And as I said just a little bit ago, I thought we would continue to get better and continue to improve at the gun stuff enough that we would start to become like we had been and be able to control the game on offense, which is what we need to do here. We have to do to be able to be successful. And so I thought running a little more gun stuff, a little more under center stuff today may help us do that. And as it turns out, we went all under center, with the exception of the last play of the first half where we threw the interception. Ken?
Coach Jeff, congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, just a quick question. How much of adjustment did Bryson Daly have to make this week? He's been doing the shotgun all year, and then you call on him to do the under center that he did in past years, but he never really played a game. Well, how about his adjustment this week?
There's an adjustment with everything. Taking the snap, our centers and the center quarterback exchange, just snapping the ball and being able to make that exchange is a huge difference from the shotgun. So it wasn't just Bryson; it was those guys too. But they all did a really good job with it, and so it was an adjustment. It is an adjustment when you're catching the ball 5 yards deep in the backfield and meshing with a back that's right next to you, or standing under center, and the guy's running full speed at the line of scrimmage. There's an adjustment, and he did a really good job this week. We added a little bit more. We had been doing some stuff the last couple of weeks. Didn't run much of it a week ago. We put in a little more this week, and so he got a few more reps, and he did a really good job.
How about Brady Small, your freshman center?
Brady's played great all year. I'm really proud of that guy. He started in the opener. We thought Billy Katsianis was probably going to be the starting center. Billy got hurt in preseason camp. Small got the first start. And he played great in the first game, but held up pretty good, and he's just improved so much. He's such a tough kid, and he played injured today, which makes me even more proud of the job he did. Just a tough kid.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Ken.
What do you think your Army has improved on since last game, and what do you think you have to improve on to go into Navy?
Well, that's a good question, my man. We definitely got better at running the football. We ran the ball today for more yards than we run the ball for all year long, and so that was a definite improvement. I thought the confidence of our offense really fed off of our ability to be able to run the football today, and so Dylan, the next game's the biggest game, and what we're going to have to do to improve for that game is not turn the ball over, because a turnover in the Army-Navy game can cost you the football game. We got to do that. And we've got to eliminate the big plays by the other team. We gave up a couple of big plays today on defense, and if we could eliminate those big plays on defense, we probably could have kept them from scoring as many points. So we certainly want to do those two things. There's other things too, but those will help us win the Army-Navy game. Great question.
How does this game feel going into Navy?
Well, I'm glad we won the game, Tyler. It's tough when you're disappointed and you lose a game or something happens that gets you down in the dumps to kind of get your spirits back up. Certainly after you win, like we did today, and really I thought a good, tough, hard battle against a good team Everybody's spirits are up. Everybody's going to be excited to come into work tomorrow, come to the meetings, come to lift, come to practice. And I think there's going to be a great energy and spirit with our guys tomorrow. So that's what today did for us.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thank
Beat
you.
Navy.